Welcome to the Last Co-op Podcast, your source of all things nerd and pop culture related. This is episode number 45. And last week, we were going to have a very one-sided debate of whether or not Michael Jordan or LeBron James was the greatest basketball player of all time. And Travis blames sickness on the reason why he was not prepared. And
I'm still sick, but I'm ready.
So this week we will make it very short and sweet. I was going to put it on social media, but then we ended up mixing up the episode we were going to do it on, and I kind of forgot. But so we'll let you go first as into why you believe that LeBron James.
I don't even need to go first. I know exactly what you're going to say. 6 final appearances, 6 wins.
I can make this
rings.
point. I can make this point without saying the word 6 rings.
All right, let me just run this down real quick. LeBron has lost 6 times in the finals. Okay.
Good stat.
But it's still impressive to take that bum Cavalier team, his third year in the league, to the finals. They got swept by the Spurs, of course, but those Spurs were beating everybody. Now, the one that really hurts was that loss to the Mavericks the first year that he was on the Heat. They should have won that series. But
that is by far, that's a whole nother topic for another day. Greatest finals run ever, that Mavericks team. The people they went through to be able to win, it's crazy.
Well, I will go on record and say LeBron gave up in that series. So, load management.
Lay flop.
2014, they lost again to the Spurs, 4-1. I got a counter for all this. 2015, lost to the Warriors. Okay, 4-2. 2017, they lost again to the Warriors, 4-1. And in 2018, they lost again to the Warriors in a sweep. Okay, where am I going with this? Nowhere. I'm sorry. LeBron, you make it hard to be a fan. But I will say, look, the 2016 championship run that they went on is the single greatest comeback of all time. I like the first time we ever used a kicker in the history of the show is to shit on me and LeBron. Coming back from 3-1 to beat the Warriors erases all of those final losses, okay? Go back and watch the series. Go back and watch the series. The single greatest performance ever in the finals by an NBA player was that series by the GOAT, LeBron James. Now go ahead with your Michael Jordan so I can rebuttal again.
All right. So
how'd you do this, Ticker? I'm just going to leave shit alone.
If we take out the 6 rings and the 6 losses, let's just say those even each other out. They don't. But let's just say.
Hold on. That would mean LeBron would have 3 championships or 4 championships.
Well, no, I'm saying like we'll just take out all of the fact that LeBron lost 6 times and the fact that MJ won 6 times and like, okay, cool. You know, LeBron's been to the finals way more times. Congratulations.
10, 6, and 4.
Yeah, well, participation
to make it sound better.
Participation trophies are not something that I think are important. So, he played for 8 more seasons.
Like, means he took care of himself for 8 more seasons.
But if he's just now breaking some records 8 seasons later.
Longevity, man.
He
cares about teamwork.
He does. He's up there in assists.
Hey, because he's scared to take the final shot.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, he's passed it off many times to other people. That's just...
Look, I worked tirelessly behind the scenes to get a guest on this show to surprise you. He never read my DMs. Zadrunas Ilgauskas, I still love you, dude.
All right. Well, like I said, everybody's got different top basketball players of all time. I did, since we've talked about this so many times, I get on TikTok or something, my feed is like filled with who's the greatest, this and who's the greatest. I will say, I hope we could all be in agreement in this one. I saw the dumbest take ever on a TikTok the other day of who they thought was the number one center that had ever played and where they ranked Shaquille O'Neal on this list. Now, if you had to rank Shaquille O'Neal on the list of top centers of all time,
he's number one.
Where's he go?
I think he's in the top top two. He's number two.
Who would you put above him?
It's got to be Will, right?
No.
I mean, what do you...
Will was playing against 5'4" white people.
I mean, so whenever I rank players, I don't care about
Kareem. Kareem was the center, right?
Yeah, but when they start changing rules and changing how the game is played because of a player, Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal, then that has to go into something instead of just basing it all off of stats.
I mean, don't get me wrong. My personal favorite. I was thinking all time. Shaq's definitely my personal favorite.
There was hack-a-shack going on, just because they're like, hey, we can't stop him. Yeah, we can't stop him, so we're gonna make him shoot free throws. They're changing the entire game, based off of how he is. But my point is there was some fucking on ESPN that said that Shaq wasn't even in the top 10 of best centers.
That's ridiculous.
That there was, and he had
he had a three-peat.
He had Alonzo Mourning and Hakeem Olajuwon, and don't get me wrong, he's good, but you can't just move Shaq down the list for all these people, Yeah. And if Shaq would have stayed in shape and would have cared, he might have as many championships as Michael Jordan.
I think if he stayed on the Lakers.
Remember that season he played for Phoenix, or he was on Boston too, right?
He went to the Heat and he won on the Heat, and then he played for Phoenix, he played for Boston, he played for
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Shout out LeBron, baby.
I think that's it. I think that's all the places that he went. I don't really remember.
Hey, they had to change the game around LeBron too. The whole flop rule.
Well, that's something to tip your hat on that one.
I take him with the flaws, man. It's all good.
All right. So first thing is there is a Cheeto that is apparently supposedly shaped like Charizard that is up for auction on that Golden Auctions website. And it is currently at $6,000. Now, I saw this. I immediately went to my Cheeto bag. I got nothing.
Why can't I find a cool one? It's some shit.
I don't understand why. I want to know the guy that's bidding on it.
It really does look like it.
I don't care who found it. I don't care about the guy that saw it, found it, and was like, hey, this looks like Charizard. I can fool some people, blah, 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 whatever. Cool, you're inspecting your Cheetos before you eat them. Good for you, But the guy that's sitting at home going, man, I could really use that for my collection. That's the guy that we need the interview with.
This has to be on purpose. It's a flaming hot Cheeto too.
Yeah, but why?
It's probably a guy at the Cheeto company making them and showing them out,
sneaking them in there.
Just freaking getting it.
Yeah, and then did you see the picture of it where they called it the Cheetozard?
Yeah, the Cheetozard.
Yeah, the Cheetozard. I'm like, this is so stupid.
I went to Google to look at other shapes, and there's another one on eBay, and it's probably who knows what it is.
Was it the Pikachu?
There's one shaped like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, no,
it's wild.
Yeah, there's a Pikachu one apparently that sold as well, and I'm just like, what is it shaped like this? What? How are you gonna make it look like anything?
Yeah. It looks like his the famed Arnold Schwarzenegger thing, whatever.
Oh yeah, his pose,
dude. I'm like, man,
I'm gonna have crazy. I'm gonna have to start inspecting my Cheetos and being like, you think this looks like this passes?
Dude, I'm about to list one that just says normal shaped Cheeto for $5 so I can go buy another bag of Cheetos. Somebody will give me 5.
Oh yeah, there's a Wyatt Earp pistol shaped Cheeto that sold for $90.
No, I'm gonna just go buy cheese puffs. I'm gonna list it as enlarged
All pistols
Cheeto.
back then supposed to be like Wyatt Earp style pistols.
What'd you say you're gonna get?
A revolver.
Puffs?
I said I'm gonna get cheese puffs. I'm gonna list it online as giant Cheeto and see. We could sell it for something. All right, so Asus is releasing a mouse that it's like prototype, so you don't really get to see pictures of it, but it's called the fragrance mouse, and it's got like a little compartment in it where you can put essential oils in it, and I guess it releases fragrance as you're playing.
That's a great idea. You remember those WoW launches at GameStop? Those people need that.
You should hand those out with the game. Here, your room's gonna need this. You know,
It's a great idea.
I mean, we're getting into the territory of some very interesting controllers, accessories, whatever that have come out recently. We had those the TMNT controllers that press a button and pizza smell supposed to come out of it, and
what?
It is a giveaway. You couldn't buy one yourself, but you could enter the giveaway to be able to win one. But like we used to have some really, really cool ones. Like I think that that chainsaw controller from one of the Resident Evils, I don't remember which one it is.
Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, that was PS2. Was that?
I don't know what console.
I think
You're
it was
probably
PS,
right.
I think it was PS2. Like that one came out. Trying to think of some other ones that
you have the butt cheeks,
but oh yeah, the butt cheeks from Wolverine and Deadpool. I'm trying to think of anything else. It wasn't just a color, like wasn't just a different color scheme. Because I mean, we've had like the Taco Bell one and the Simpsons stuff and the M&Ms and like all the different stuff like that.
Let me Google.
It's gonna like come out and like shoot somebody's eye, and then their fucking shit's gonna be all messed up.
Well, my thing is like the TMNT, for example, like it smells like pizza. When it's done, can you refill it and make it do that again, or is it just now just a basic controller that does absolutely nothing? So, but the point is what do you think the worst video game accessories are that have ever come
out? The PS3 Move stuff was pretty pointless.
Yeah, I don't know if that was because it was too early or it just sucked. I'm pretty sure it was just terrible. It might have been, it might have been a little bit early too, but
I'm pretty sure there was a fishing rod on the PlayStation 2 that was questionable as well.
Isn't it kind of wild though that like Nintendo came out with the Wii with all the motion stuff and like everybody fell in love with it and it was like blockbuster success, blah blah blah, and then Sony's like, hey, we got Move, and they're like, yeah, no, and then Xbox is like, we have Kinect, and it's like, yeah, no, like
Kinect was cool though.
I mean, it's
being able to control it and stuff, like with your voice and everything.
It wasn't that it was bad. It was just that like Nintendo did it. Millions.
Oh, yeah.
Other companies do it. And like, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, I had a Kinect and I played the 3 games that it launched with. Connectables.
I think I played one game.
Yeah, the
one game with
Connectables and whatever the one. I remember I was on an inner tube going down some rapids.
Connect Adventures.
Yeah, Adventures. But yeah, I mean, like outside of that, I never used it. And I mean, that's kind of how I feel about VR too, is like, I'm sure it's cool. I'd like to try it, but I'm never going to buy it. I'm never going to, own it myself because it's just going to sit and collect dust. But
I don't want to get some flack for this, but because I don't play those style games a lot, but I hate those fight pads that they make for like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and they're insanely expensive.
Oh yeah, people
make street or pads for them.
Well, like those, I mean, they're like the size of a keyboard, like those.
Oh, those
things. The
like one of those things for like Dance Dance Revolution. I'm like,
No.
He's over there. Kick.
Kicking something. Dog walks in the room.
So mine was, I don't know if you ever had, I never had one whenever I was a kid. But I've seen them, and I've since seen been around one as an adult. Is there used to be this it wasn't like a vest, but it was like, it's like the things you wear in laser tag,
It's the rumble thing, right?
Yeah, it was like for for Super Nintendo and Genesis or whatever. But the thing was on your back, so if you got a gunshot or you got hit in a fighting game, it's just like you're supposed to be like somebody just punched you in your spine. And I'm like, who thought that was a good idea?
I think they have a new one out now
to give to kids, and that just seems like an absolutely terrible.
What's that 50 Cent game?
Terrible idea.
Imagine playing that with the 50 and then just you could really be 50 Cent.
But yeah, that one, and then there for I think it was is either original PlayStation or PlayStation 2. I don't remember. There was some weird contraption that you had to connect the pieces together and then it plugged in, but it was it was the Wii or Connect or whatever before it came out, and when you moved your hands certain areas over the sensors, it did certain buttons. It never worked, and it was an absolute piece of crap. But it was probably made by Mad Cats or some garbage. It wasn't like a mainstream product that came out. But yeah, that, and obviously it would take way too long to get into all the discount controllers that we've seen for PlayStations and Xboxes and all that. Some of those are just, I don't know how you can make a discount controller and change the entire design of the way that the controller looks and say that it's supposed to do something.
The shit doesn't work anyway, so.
Well, no, they're terrible, and the only thing they were good for is those turbo controllers they made, to where you could press a button or turn a switch, and then you press the X button, but it actually presses it 75 times or something like that. That was great for the Tiger Woods games. You hit that button once and the ball's spinning and it's turning red. You get an extra 20 something yards out of it. Yeah, and the crazy part was that was back before cheat detection, was a thing. So you could just take that online and play against other people that way, and it was just completely unfair. So,
God, they need to bring those back.
Well, they got to put that feature in the game. It's not even a feature anymore. So,
yeah, I guess that's true.
It really wouldn't serve a purpose anymore. So
that's how I beat the torture scene on Metal Gear Solid back in the day. Turbo controller. Otherwise, shit's impossible to beat.
Yeah. Well, you got the worst accessory, Jake?
I don't know, man. I don't really have one. I don't think I had
that. Another one. The DJ Hero DJ controller.
I forgot to do that.
Oh wait, I guess it's not an accessory, but that basketball they did make a game like that where the dribbling.
We shit on that on here before.
Yeah, that was stupid. Trying to think of something else that I've just seen, whether it was at GameStop or somewhere else, where I'm just who buys this? Have
you ever tried to play a regular game with the Guitar Hero controller?
No, but I know people that actually do that and put it on YouTube. They'll play something I beat Dark Souls on a Guitar Hero 2 controller. And I'm
I went down a rabbit hole those videos.
What? There is a guy though that he plays competitive first person shooters on PC, and he's got some contraption. I don't know what he does, but he has a mouse in his right hand, and then he has a Wii remote or Wii nunchuck in his left hand, and so he's moving around with the little Wii remote and then using the mouse with the other hand to be able to shoot. I don't know how he jumps or does anything else. I guess he's got buttons on this mouse, but yeah, that's how he plays. So.
He sounds like he needs that mouse that releases that fragrance.
Yeah, go outside.
Apply yourself to something else.
All right, so I know Travis's answer because it's the same for every game. But what gaming difficulty level do you play on, and why?
I do. I mean, I'm a normal guy. Just keep it on the normal. I wanted to enjoy the game at first, and then if I decide I'm good enough, I'll try doing the next level. If I don't get bored, and then, but at the same time, when I'm on that normal difficulty, I'll probably forget to upgrade my player. So I'm like playing on the difficulty, the hard one, towards the end anyway. So it doesn't matter.
I always take mine like just one step higher than like if it's like normal, I'm like, like just one more. Like back in the day, like with the Call of Duty games that had like veteran difficulty and all that kind of stuff, like I would, play the games and beat them on that because I mean, obviously I was 16, 17 years old and had hand-eye coordination. And, that was something that I was able to do. But now, like, I just like to make it just a little bit harder. So, I feel a little more accomplished. Like even on the show, like, instead of just pressing the button to swing, like I got the thing you got to move around. I got to track the ball, to be able to do it. Golf,
You're a psycho.
I turn the wind on and, just a little bit, not like, hey, I'm going to turn it all the way legend difficulty and piss myself off. Like that's not going to happen anymore. But, when I get done playing a game, if I beat it on easy, I'm just like, what am I, 12?
I'm fulfilled. I beat him on easy.
Just like, like
I'm just there for the story.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't want to do this. So it also depends on the game too. Like, I mean, if it's a story game that, I'm just playing because it, I think that it's good, I'll probably just put it on like, regular difficulty. But like now let's just say Red Dead, for example, difficulty levels straight to the highest difficulty level, challenge myself. I already got the platinum. Might as well beat it on Wild West difficulty or whatever they want to, whatever they want to call it. And
who's a that? You get like what's a sickness from like the 1800s?
Like tuberculosis.
Yeah,
that's what
it gives you tuberculosis.
Don't bring it up.
That's what happened to Arthur anyway. So yeah,
damn it.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. How is your run through going, by the way, on that?
I am.
I'm still in the snow.
Yeah,
my son took the PlayStation back. He's like, "You're not even playing it." And I was like, "I know."
I'm like, I think last time I was 30-ish%, which doesn't mean like I don't technically have 70% left. Like that's like total completion, whatever. So I think when you finish the story, you're at 74% or
somewhere in the 70s,
something like that. So I mean, I guess I'm third of the way or something like that through it.
I think I'm like 0.5%. Like a 0.8.
Forever.
Hey, that line of, I mean, it's still cold out. Travis said that 15 times before he, finally got past it. And then after, hell, the last time he played it, I didn't even know he'd be on playing it. Like, he'd just, be like, yeah, well, but, just finished chapter 5. I'm like, what do you mean? I was just like, well, you were just on chapter, 4 yesterday. I'm like, you went through a whole entire chapter of this game already? And then he's like, yeah, wrapping it up. I'm like, well, shit, last time it took you 7 months to be able to beat this game. And now you just knocked it out in a couple of weeks.
You're making me sound like I need that damn mouse. Come on.
The fragrance. you need the fragrance control. The fragrance controller.
I swear to God, I don't. I'm clean.
Yeah. But yeah, like I think I'm like at 30% or something like that. Golf obviously took away from playing through Red Dead, but like I've been playing that and I haven't
trying to get the golf in.
So
because I know the show's going to take away from golf. So
yeah, because that's
2 weeks.
Yeah. So is it actually what is the 14th or
I think it's the 14th, 17th without early access.
I thought they were doing a week too.
No, I think it's only 3 days.
Oh, well. Yeah, so I want to play that. Between that and golf, I mean, I'll finish Red Dead eventually. I mean, it's not like I'm missing out on anything. I mean, I've already played it, twice. So I mean, I know what's going to happen. I will say, I'm not going for the honorable route this time. Like stranger on the side of the road, hey, help me do whatever. Nah, fuck off. Like, you know,
It's
and
just
then
time consuming.
yeah, and then I get the little notification with the little negative sign of like I'm being dishonorable. I'm just like, eh. I will say on accident, I had a bounty of like $85, and I was like, well, I guess we ain't going back there. I was like, because you know, the honorable thing to do would be to turn myself in, pay this off, and you know, move on. I was like, nah, we ain't doing that this time around. So I'm not going to say I'm going to commit to collecting things again, but been doing lots and lots of watching of other people doing it on YouTube and, you know, looking
Getting that
things
itch.
up.
Getting that little
And
itch.
I'm just like, and the thing is it makes me want to, but it also pisses me off. Like whenever I watch some of that stuff, because like I was watching these people, like the game chasers, and like, granted, this was 2006 or some shit, probably before then, when they're out, you know, looking for stuff. And he's like, oh, look, little Samson, how much is this? And he's like, $4. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, how did that game go from that to, you know, what it is now? And like, I mean, it's the same thing with everything. I mean, they're going over there and they're like, there's a whole shelf, probably, you know, 200, you know, NES, N64, whatever. And they're like, how, you know, these individually priced, everything's $3, you know, and it's just like, didn't matter, you know, it didn't matter what it was, you know, just, yeah, $3, you know, I don't care. And, you know, every yard sale they'd go to, you know, hey, you got this? Oh, I got an Atari. I've got an NES. I've got this, you know, I've got that. And so I'm not saying that I'm doing it like, I mean, like, obviously I enjoy it all. I played video games since I can remember, but, you know, it would be nice to like collect video games and get enjoyment out of it and play it. And then, like, you know, when I'm gone, you know, my kids are like, hey, you know, we need X amount of dollars for, you know, whatever. Like, they can just sell it and that can be, you know, their inheritance. But at the same time, I'm like, you know, is it too late to where, you know, I mean, how much higher can little Samson go? You know, like, I mean, I feel like the rare games are the rare games. I don't think anything past PS3, Xbox 360 era is ever gonna be collectible. I mean, maybe some limited edition consoles, maybe some sealed stuff, but like, I mean,
Burger King for the 360.
well, I mean, but I mean, like in 30 years, you know, who cares that I have, you know, Red Dead Redemption 2 on, you know, Xbox, you know, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, nobody's, you know, it's going to get me $20 just like it did when I bought it, you know, like, right. It's not going to be anything. And I don't know if that's just because people don't care and everything's going to be digital, or it's because things were so much more mass produced during that time versus with, you know, the stuff when we were kids. Because I mean, like, video games were still new, you know, whenever we were kids, and not everybody had one. But I mean, now, when's the last time you went to somebody's house they didn't have some form of video games? I mean, it's just, I mean, everybody's got something. Everybody's got something, you know, whether it's a Switch, PlayStation, you know. I mean, they don't get me wrong. I mean, I know people that still play PlayStation 4, which, I mean, hell, there's nothing wrong with that, because PS5 kind of all
basically
the games. They're the same things. I mean, the games might be a little prettier, but I mean, it's the same thing. But everybody's got something, and so I guess the question is do you think that whole entire market at some point will come crashing down?
No.
Yeah, I think it just continues to build.
Yeah,
it'll probably taper off, but I don't think it just goes away.
No,
I don't see them getting to. I mean, there are games that like sell for like hundreds of thousands of dollars that are like sealed, you know, pristine condition.
Yeah, I mean, like, I
number
get that,
10,
but
you know, rank 10.
I guess I mean just like your average game, like no sealed, no graded, no, you know, like, I mean, you think in 10 years, little Samson's going to be $4,500 or whatever it is now? or you think it's going to be 7, or do you think it's going to?
Oh, I think that'll continue going.
You think it'll be 2?
Won't be as many copies though. It'll just be the same amount of copies that are there.
Yeah, I mean that's what I guess that was my thing is like I don't really know, like, I mean, how can a game go from you can buy it for $2 to make you can buy it for 4,500? Like, yeah, I mean that's just
nerds.
I think if you want to get if you want to get a jump on it, maybe pull up, because I think little Samson was like close to the end of the Nintendo.
That's probably with the box. See, I thought of that. I was like, hey, like, what if I got, like the games?
Some of these, Last of Life run.
I'm like, what if I just bought like 10 of, like, I think The Last of Us was like one of the very last PS3 games, and I'm like,
that one's dangerous because that one was probably mass produced.
That's true, but I feel like all of them were. Like that's what I said. You just
I don't think Little Samson was. I don't think they made a whole ton of.
Yeah, Little Samson. I don't think.
I'm talking about like in today's world. Like I mean, if you got to find the what was the game you got 1,000 gamer score on? That was just the Hannah Montana. Whatever, like you gotta find one of those sealed or something, and then 20 years from now, like the obscure game nobody but Travis played, and maybe
there was another one, The Last Airbender or something.
Oh, that was 5 minutes, if that, of 1,000 gamer score. You just press A, and then they just all pop up, and then you're done. And then you don't got to play a level. That was the best one ever.
It looks like they only made about as few as 10,000. Little Samsons were made.
God knows how many are destroyed.
Like, what's what I'm saying. I guess it's
sealed is like 23,000.
Oh, who's got that?
Game in box. It looked like it. I'm pretty sure that's what I was looking at my app was 5,000. Just with like, I mean, you got all of it, but it's not sealed.
Yeah, that's one thing. What is your stance on graded games?
I mean, I want to open it and play it.
Let's see. I think that not that they're stupid, like, but it looks nice on a shelf, but like I would want to play the game. Like even when I collected Funko Pops, like I just took them out of the box. I was like, I'm not like I don't want to keep this in a box and put it on a shelf just to look at and for it to collect dust, like I'm not sitting there like, having fucking wars with Funko Pops or anything, but, I'm just like, I want to look at it, like it looks better, out of the box. And, it takes up way less space too, than having it in the box, but
I wouldn't be opposed to like maybe Tony Hawk on PlayStation 1 getting that graded.
Yeah. Like your absolute favorite game, like it, that,
I mean, if I had a second copy, I'll keep one.
Like that would be cool, I guess. Like for me, my all-time favorite, well, I'm not gonna say all-time favorite, but
I was gonna say he's doing something.
He
can look back too, like he's not fucking with me yet.
The Mike Tyson's Punch Out for NES is like one of my all-time favorite games. And so like I saw one on the internet that was sealed, autographed, and graded. And it was like so I don't know which company does like the decimal numbers and which one just does whole numbers, but this was a 70. I don't remember, so I don't know which grading company that was. But it was 3,500 or something like that.
God.
And so I'm like, yeah, like that would be super cool to have, but every time I would be doing this podcast and it'd be right there, on a shelf, it hurt me a little bit to know that there's just $3,500 just sitting in a acrylic box, on a shelf. And then, like somebody comes over and I'm like, hey, look at this. And they're like, yeah, how much you pay for that? I'm like, well, it's only $3,500. And they're like, okay,
rather not say it was a gift.
Just eat it too.
Yeah. And so, that's,
what would you do if your dog scooted along behind you eating it?
Old Yeller.
Cut the cameras.
But yeah, I mean, like I can't. I guess if you had it and you sent it in yourself, like I think if you're buying somebody else's graded game, like that's just a terrible investment, because you don't know what you're going to get, like if you had a Tony Hawk and I had a Tony Hawk and Jake had a Tony Hawk and we all sent them in, we may all get the exact same ones, or you may get a 9-8 and I may get a 4, so, but you know what, if I'm buying a 4 on eBay, it's going to be a lot less than buying, your 9. So, I mean, if you get lucky and you send it in yourself, and, I don't have the patience for that either. Like, I want to send something into somebody and I got to wait till next year, before it's going to arrive. I'm going to forget, and I'm going to send some very choice worded emails to the company, wondering where my things are at. But yeah, I don't have any desire to own graded games or grade anything. And I
think
I get
to, like, if I had a seal,
I get it, but
out of curiosity,
I might be tempted if I came across something sealed.
Yeah, like I said, grade your own, but like buying one, I'll never buy,
Let me look up a graded Tony Hawk on the eBay here.
I mean, look what I'm saying. Just say, so like, okay, let's just say favorite Tony Hawk of all time. Which one?
4.
Okay, so let's say you found a 4 that was sealed, and it was, I mean, I have no idea what Tony Hawk costs. So let's just say $100. I'm sure it's,
I think it was like $49.99 probably.
I found a sealed Tony Hawk Underground on PlayStation 2 rated at a 85. It's $300.
Okay, well, see, that's not anywhere close to what I was thinking. I thought it was going to be a lot more than that. So what is Tony Hawk? What is Tony Hawk just sealed by itself?
Oh, I don't know. Hang on.
So let's just because see,
I said probably like 49 or 59.
Well, I will say I said $100, but hell, you can get a graded one for 300, so it's probably less than that.
There's a first print black label sealed, $1,200.
Oh, see, that makes no sense.
There's the green greatest hit label that has a tear in the seal. That one's $40, but it's got water damage. Oh yeah, this is crazy. Tony Hawk 3 sealed on PlayStation 1 is $400.
Okay, so let's throw the sealed part out. Let's just say if you had a Tony Hawk
game,
and you could, it was in perfect condition. What would make you want to send it in to get graded to put it on your shelf?
Just to have that little collectible piece for myself.
If it was autographed?
No, I would do it like this copy of Tony Hawk 2. It's a black label on PS1, $25. Looks clean. I'd be tempted to send that off just to have it.
My Tony Hawk for N64 is $13 loose.
I think didn't they do something different now to where you can't just send in one thing to get graded anymore?
Yeah, I think you have to clump stuff together.
Yeah, you have to send in a group. So
that's why at GameStop though they were telling me. Did we talk about that already? With GameStop, so GameStop they send their stuff to PSA as well, and you can take one item up, but they wait until they get 20 to send at the same time. So they just do Pokemon cards though, right? No, they do everything. I'm pretty sure. Oh, I thought they just did. Yeah, well, you can buy graded baseball cards on their site now. One talking about video games, like video games. I don't know about video. I don't know if you can grade video games there. Yeah, that's why I said I know they advertise Pokemon cards, so I didn't know if they did anything but cards. So I would assume with games you could probably send one game at a time. I'd imagine. I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know. I've never looked into it. I've literally there's at no point have I ever looked at a video game and had the thought of I wonder what this would grade at. Like that's never I've never in 35 years ever thought that. So I've never looked into it. I don't know. I've never even actually seen a graded game in real life.
I haven't either.
So I don't.
I've seen them out at the like stores and stuff, or like a flea market or something.
I don't know anybody that has one. I've never seen one in real life, so I don't.
I was looking at my collection.
It's a cool hobby, I guess. But
the box for Pokemon Yellow, the manual, and the game, and that's rated. That shows it's just having that as $279. That's my most expensive piece.
Yeah, I'll say that's. I was
So
gonna
if I
say,
sent that off, that'd be kind of cool. And the box is in okay condition, but apparently
do it.
So I got that. I got the box for the Lost World Jurassic Park, and the box itself is $74.
Jesus.
And the game goes for $44. So make that make sense. I don't have the game. I just have the box.
There was a point in time where basically the metric for video games was if you have game, it's X amount of dollars, and if you have case, it now doubles. So I mean, whether that was 5, 10, or 100, it was like, hey, the game's 100. That must mean it's rare. Well, it's even rarer if you have the box. So we'll just double it and call it the box price. So
I think we talked about that on here before, right? Where those games that came in a cardboard box, like 64, Sega, as a kid, you're just tossing that.
Oh, I don't know how I got some of the ones I have. I kept 2 of mine.
The wild part is like, I don't ever personally remember throwing away those boxes. Like, I mean, I know I did. I mean,
parents probably opened them for us.
What's what I'm saying? Like, I don't ever remember like personally throwing away the boxes and being like, fucking garbage. I don't need this. Like I remember opening them and like maybe just like setting it down, on the, TV stand or whatever. But, I don't remember throwing them away because like, I remember like you'd get in the car, or at least I did, I'd get in the car and like, you'd be riding home, like reading the back of the game, like, about, what you were going to play and all that. And then so many boxes just, lost and destroyed. And I'm sure GameStop probably destroyed more game boxes than children.
Oh yeah.
So
they were just concerned about the space.
Those dumpsters in the back of GameStop, if you were to go back there, I mean, there was some wild, stuff that was back there. And GameStop practices made no sense because like they'd be like, hey, go in the back and shrink wrap these. And I'm like, why are we shrink wrapping 15 Sneak Kings for 360 together? Like, what are we going to do with these? Like they're already marked at $3 or, whatever it is. Clearly no one wants them. So, what are we going to do after we shrink wrap them? And I will say one time I thought that I was slick before I actually knew about seals of games and, how things worked and, they got a seam here and, all that. I went there in the back with a game one time, sealed it all up, made it look all nice. And I'm like, I'd like to return this, please. And they're like, I'm like, looking at them and they're like, yeah, this isn't, factory sealed. I'm like, oh. I'm like, well, I did not know that. And I was like, yeah, like I did not know that. And then, then I was like, I think like N64s somehow have like a seam down the middle too. And, some they're just all different. And, but yeah, I remember that when I was at GameStop, I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to seal this up and just go return it. And that didn't work out very well. So.
That's a taste of their own medicine for selling new games that were used and beat up by us checking them out.
People used to be so mad whenever they'd come in. They're like, yeah, I'd like, whatever the game was that came out that day. And they watch you, just open a drawer, pull out a little, paper sleeve and pop their game in the disc and close it. And like, here you go. And they're like, no, I'd like a new one. I'm like, oh, it's new. So it's like, I just opened it yesterday. I was like, brand new, and they're just like, well, can I get a sealed one? I'm like, nah, you can't actually. I was like, we have to sell these first. I was like, so, we leave one on the shelf, but, all the rest of these, we must sell to you first. But, yeah, people used to be very, very unhappy that we would do that. But I don't know if that made them more mad or the fact of a brand new game would be $59.99. They're like, oh, okay, well, how much is that? Hey, I see a used one in my computer. Oh, how much is that? $54.99.
54.
Like, what? Like, why? Like, used game prices made no sense on there. So
get you that $5 discount.
Yeah, that and hey, would you like to reserve anything? And they're like, no. Like, are you sure? Would you like a magazine? And I was like, no, I don't. I don't want to do that either. Well, come on, please. If you do this, it's really going to help me out as an employee. And it's like you think about it, like we got nothing. We got absolutely nothing for offering subscriptions or reservations. Like they're like, yeah, get your numbers up. I'm like, but why? Like you're gonna pay me the exact same. Like I'm not getting a bonus. Nothing's happening. Just it's all gonna be the same. So,
well, as far as collection goes, my kids better not just like throw it away because I haven't even added all my stuff into it, and right now I'm sitting at $7,700. So, and that's not buying $7,700 worth. That's me getting lucky and buying
that's
$5 case of like for $5 a case of not NES, but the little Game Boy games for $5, but it's worth $100.
Yeah. Did you get advanced games or did you get
No, I get advanced. The what are they called?
DS games?
Sitting right here. DS. That's what I couldn't get out. Yeah, DS. DS games. 5 of them.
So
$5 case for $100.
Does it help you justify the things that you buy and having a collection, saying like one day I can pass this down to my kids and then like it may help them later on in life? Because it sure does me, whenever I buy
Honestly,
things.
I'll probably sell it and just buy something nice for myself when I get to like 50. Like, like when I die, they're going to be taken care of with insurance money kind of thing.
Yeah,
I'm going to be like, I'll probably like, I want to keep this stuff, but don't get me wrong. Like, I also like money, and I'll probably end up selling some of this stuff at some point.
I get
now that eBay, I've been doing eBay, like, and making money off of that. It's kind of fun.
I mean, I guess when I'm 70, I mean, I may have a different mindset, but like,
oh, my son would probably want it. He would definitely want all my stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
he wants it now.
But then again, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what would have to happen in order for me to just not enjoy playing video games anymore.
Oh yeah, no, I'll still play them.
Yeah, like I don't think I don't know what would occur in life to where I would just be like, you know what? I don't really like that hobby, anymore. Like, I mean, like there's certain hobbies that like, it's not that you don't enjoy them anymore. It's just you get old and you can't do it anymore. Like I'm not going out there and, playing baseball and running the bases. Like that's not happening. I'll have a heart attack. Like I'm too old. I'm out of shape. I can't do that.
Dislocate my leg if I play basketball.
Like that's that time has passed. But like video games, like sit my ass here. I ain't even got to move. Like I can do that.
Arthritis
forever.
Is going to be your enemy.
I'm gonna have arthritis bad. So hey, this is the first time I've been able to do this ever. So I think did I send you how I hold the controller?
No.
Oh, okay. So
notorious right here.
So this is
the two on top.
So arthritis is definitely going to be a problem of mine because I played the game like
throwing up a set,
dude. Look at game side. Put that down.
So I can.
Freaking bloods are going to come after you, dude.
And both of these, I can hit all these buttons, and yeah, I do it all.
Begin to think
at the same time. So yeah, playing like this.
I've been playing this way since this.
Yeah, all this
is how long I've been playing.
This is gonna be gonna be arthritis. So
God bless.
Yeah, so I might have arthritis at some point. But
try that.
Yeah, so you gotta put your index finger on the A button and your thumb on this analog stick, and then you use your your middle finger and your ring finger for the button.
Oh damn! You got 3 fingers going. 4 fingers going on the side.
Hey, whoa!
Somebody's getting excited. Somebody's having a good time.
You got 3 fingers in there. Whoa!
How is that even possible? My brain barely clicks with this many. Just doing this.
That's what she said.
God bless. That's impressive.
Yeah.
No wonder you're good at video games.
Dexterity. So,
your Arthur's doing a whole lot more shit on fucking Red Dead than mine.
But yeah, so yeah, arthritis will definitely set in at some point. My joints already hurt when the weather gets cold, so I'm sure it's coming. All right, well. That's all we got for this episode. Yeah, yeah. Next time we may have a special guest, we may not. We shall see. And I may have a start to the collection. We shall see how that goes. I have like an itch to play really random games, which requires me to buy things I don't have, and then I have the thought of like, well, if I just buy that and start collecting for it, then it make a little bit more sense. But like, I want to play Mario Baseball and
GameCube.
Mario Kart Double Dash, and I'm like, well, I could buy a GameCube, but then I'm like, well, I could just buy a Wii, and then I could play all the GameCube games, and I could play the Wii games if I want to. And I may or may not have found the red Wii complete in box with the red Wii remote and nunchuck with Wii Sports and the Super Mario's Deluxe, whatever, and online for $195. So
Can you play that game on the do you have the Switch? You have a Switch, right?
yeah, but they're not on there.
It's not on there.
No. Well, so Mario Baseball, I don't remember what it's called for GameCube. It's called one thing, but then
Is it like Bashers or something?
That sounds right.
Well, Super Sluggers is the Wii.
Maybe is what I'm thinking
of the baseball, and then Strikers is the golf, or I mean the soccer thing for GameCube. And there's an updated version of Mario Golf on GameCube too. I forgot about that, and I love that game on N64.
Mario Superstar.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. So yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I've got it. It said it's in two people's carts, so I'm like, I don't know what it costs. I don't know what the actual value is. I didn't look. It sounded good to me, just knowing absolutely nothing. But you know, I could be off. So I don't know. I may buy it, and it's another example of why I shouldn't have adult money. So you know.
Well, I just started Avowed, so I'll tell you how that goes.
I've heard very, very mixed reviews. I've heard one person tell me that it is good, and then I actually just last night, some guy that I went to high school with that I haven't talked to in forever added me on Facebook and then messaged me like, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, I'm like, "Hey, long time no see," whatever, and then he said something about, you know, oh yeah, you know, you still play video games? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, I did this. And I said something about Avowed. And he's like, yeah, game's garbage. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like,
giving it a chance.
Whatever.
Somebody's been playing it, says he loves it.
Mini review next week, Jake.
Yeah. So I was just like, it may be good, it may be bad. I don't know. So his reasoning why he said it was bad was they compared it to, I guess, Oblivion, which came out 15 years ago. And I guess it kind of looks very, very similar to a 15-year-old game, and I guess that's.
He said Skyrim. He's like, it's like Skyrim. So
yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well, like, comment, subscribe, send it to all your friends.
LeBron James.
I'm glad we could. Yeah, I was going to touch on that. I was saying I'm glad we finally have an understanding of which person is the best basketball player ever. You know what? I should have worn my Chicago
this year, dude.
That's what I should have done.
If he wins it this year, it's going to be hard to debate in the future.
Luka, baby. Luka magic.
Did you see he walked off the court last night with 20-something seconds left?
Yeah, but did you see what they said? The purpose behind it is to give Luka his stage.
Yeah, see, he's a giver.
Media the media makes up lots of things.
He put 16 down in the fourth quarter. He deserved to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, it was a close game. They weren't blowing them out or nothing. Yeah. So. All right. Yep. So all the links for everything will be in the description as always. And possibly before. Well, no, we'll do it for the next episode. We're going to pose a question on Facebook and gather everybody's answers and make it a part of the next episode. So until next time, goodbye.
Bye.